Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah with Jujubee Crafts and More. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm taking part in the Heidi Sonboul DIY monthly challenge. This month's theme is Easter. I will leave her channel in the description box down below. Make sure you go check her out, and I'll also leave a playlist for today with lots of Easter inspiration provided by amazing, talented creators. So let's get started with this first DIY. First, I'm going to take one of these little baskets that has all the tinsel on it, and I'm going to take all the tinsel off. Then I'm going to take out those little foam eggs, and I did hot glue the little handle. It was broken, so I just hot glued it to fix that. Next, I'm going to take this nautical rope. Now this is the smaller of the two that you can buy at Dollar Tree. So I took the smaller of the two. This came in a 9-foot package, and I am just going to start at the very top, and I'm going to hot glue this nautical rope to the outside of this little basket. Now I'm putting the hot glue on the basket itself where I can, and also the nautical rope. Once I get to the bottom, I need to create a base to this because it's open. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping the nautical rope and gluing it like on the inside of itself to create that bottom. And I'll just keep going around until it is complete. Next, I'm going to just add some hot glue to the handle, and I'm going to place some of that nautical rope right along the handle on both sides. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. See, I just turn it around and I'll just add the nautical rope to that side as well. After that, I'm going to take some of this lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to embellish this little basket with this ribbon. So I'll just use a little bit of hot glue. You don't have to use a whole lot. And I'm just going to add it to the top and to the bottom of this basket. After that, I create a little twine bow with multiple layers of twine. I don't know how many strands of twine there were there, probably 3, I'm guessing. And I will just add that to the front of my basket. And I was checking to make sure that I had the front and not the back. So that's always a good thing. You don't want to add your embellishments to the back if you've got a front and a back. After that, I am going to take one of those styrofoam eggs, and I'm just going to cover this whole entire egg in the jute twine from the Dollar Tree. After I get this whole egg completely covered with the twine, I'm going to put a plastic bag in the bottom of my little basket, and then I will add some reindeer moss to the top. And I don't show that part because it's kind of boring, and I think everybody can, add something to fill up the little basket and make it your own. So I just put a little bit of reindeer moss and then added some of those carrots from the Dollar Tree and my little twine egg. And I think this turned out adorable. For our second DIY, we're going to take one of these plaques from the Dollar Tree. This one just was the welcome spring, and I had taken the spring off and used it for another DIY. Then I'm going to give this one coat of the Waverly plaster chalk paint with a foam brush. Then I'm going to take my ruler and a pencil, and I'm going to create lines going from the top to the bottom. Now, I didn't realize that the pencil I had grabbed was a very soft pencil, so when I went to go smudge out the lines with my fingers, it really smudged. And I thought for sure I had ruined this project. I was so sad. I was like, I'm gonna have to paint this whole thing over again. But I think in the end, I just used my chippy brush and I went over it originally with the plaster chalk paint, and then I am taking the mineral chalk paint and I'm giving it a little bit more dimension. So I think after I finished everything, it turned out pretty good, and I didn't even notice the lines as much as I thought I was going to. Hey, if you like this video and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So then I'm going to take these little galvanized rabbits from these 2 Easter signs. The rabbits were going 2 different directions, so that's why I grabbed them, because I kind of wanted them to face each other. And to get those bows off, I just used my heat gun and was very careful to get the glue off. It came right off with the glue. Next, I'm going to take this Finnabair. It comes in a 3-pack, so you can get the rust effect and the patina effect, and I have both of them. So here I am adding the yellow rust effect. So I added the copper color first, and then the yellow rust, and then this is like the red rust, and then I'll go in with the brown rust. And I'm just using an old brush to do this. You don't want to use a good brush for this because this paste is pretty, it's pretty rough on your brushes. It has like sand and stuff in it. So you definitely want to use an old brush, but I love this rusted effect and I have so much fun with these pastes. So this is the patina, which the copper color comes in the patina, and then the green and the blue. So I'm just dabbing on some of the green and then some of the blue, and then I will finish it off with some of the brown rust as well. Kind of going over it to you know, get those blue areas a little more subdued. Next, I cut some vinyl on my Cricut, and I will leave the names of the fonts that I used in my description box below. So this says, "Somebody loves you." And then at the very bottom, and you won't be able to see me do this because I was out of frame, but it says, "P.S. It's Jesus." So that's just going to go at the very bottom left-hand corner, I think. Next, I'm going to take one of these little hearts from the Dollar Tree. Well, you'll see in a second. I'll take one of the hearts from Valentine's Day from the Dollar Tree, and I just put some antique wax on it to kind of stain it. And then I'm just going to hot glue the bunnies and the little heart down. Next, because this sign was very bowed, I am just going to add 3 of the little stir sticks on the back to make it straighter. And then I added some twine at the top for a hanger. And I am in love with this little sign. I think it is so cute. So for our third DIY, I took, these were ornaments that I got after Christmas on clearance at Walmart. And I just took them apart. You know the drill, like any Dollar Tree little plaques that you would use. You take them apart, take the paper off, sand them down, paint them. Then I'm going to use some of this washi tape to section off a couple of places. So this is like a 1/2 inch strip down the middle that I'm doing. And I did measure this out, actually. I don't always measure everything out, but I did want this measured out. So I did measure this out to make sure that it was in the center and the right width. And then I'm going to take some thinner washi tape and I'm going to create like an 1/8 inch strip to each side of that middle strip. And I'm using the Folk Art chalk paint in the color Nantucket Blue. I love this color. I used it a lot for my fall decor, and I thought it would look really good for this spring piece that I'm making. So I'm just going to pop the backs on these, and you'll see in a second that I realize that I actually do need to glue them in. So I do glue them in, and then I'm taking these little moss bunnies that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to add them to my little boxes. Next, I'm going to take a 12-inch dowel, and I am going to add some greenery to this. So if you're wondering what kind of things I do on my channel, I like to do budget-friendly home decor, budget-friendly seasonal decor. I like to do thrift flips and just making anything old, cute, and new using budget-friendly techniques. I also really enjoy doing high-end dupes. Those are probably some of my favorite videos to make, and I have so much fun doing those. So if any of that sounds good to you, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. So I'm just continuing to add different greenery to this little dowel. And then to secure it, I am just taking some twine and wrapping it around the very middle there just to help secure all of those little branches to this dowel. And then I'm going to add in some of this lavender from Walmart. And I just cut it apart and I'm just hot gluing it in. And you'll see here that I add these 2 yellow flowers. In the end, I don't end up keeping those there. And I'll show you at the very end what I end up doing instead. So then I wanted my little bunnies to hang from my dowel. So I'm just going to add some twine to the tops of each of these little boxes. They already had the eye hook hangers on them because they were ornaments. And so I'm just putting the twine through the ornament hanger. And then I will just hang those, like tie them to the dowel there. And I hung the middle one a little bit lower. And I don't show you, but I do end up putting a hanger on the back of this. And then I did create that bow for the very middle of my greenery. And I did put these little lace ribbon bows on top of each bunny. Next, I'm going to create some little fabric carrots. So I took this material that I bought from the Dollar Tree and I cut it into 4x4 square inch pieces. And then I'm just going to add a bead of hot glue on one side, fold it in half. And then I'm going to, you want your sides to be right sides together. And then you'll turn it right side out. So I just used a little pick there to help get the end out, and then I'm just going to add some polyfill. And then I found that clipping off that longer side worked better. And then I'm taking this colored raffia that I bought from the Dollar Tree. It was in a roll from Premier Yarns, and I just made like little, that ruler that I used was 2 inches wide, so I just wrapped it around that ruler a few times, pulled it off, and then stuck it down the middle of my carrot here. And then I'm just tying everything off the very top there with some twine. Now if you have little hand helpers, that would be very helpful with this project. It is a little difficult doing it by yourself, but it's manageable. It just would be easier with a little helper. And all my helpers were, I don't know what they were doing today. It was kind of a rainy, miserable day, so everybody was just kind of quiet and in their own little spots after they were done with their schoolwork. So then I'm just going to clip the tops of the raffia here so that it's all separated, and I'll give it a nice haircut so it's all even as well. And that creates your super cute little carrot. I love how these came out. So cute. So as you can see, I did some in the gingham and then some in this just plain orange. But I needed to create a hanger so that I could put it onto a, I wanted to make it into a banner. So I am just threading a piece of twine through all of those pieces of twine that I'd wrapped it around. That makes any sense. And then just tied it and created a little hanger. And then I just hung it on some jute twine, and it is on my gigantic fireplace. Sorry about the pictures. It was not a good day for pictures, and here I'll show you in a second why. It was pouring. This is my backyard, and it just was gray pouring mess today, so it was hard to get good pictures of the fireplace. So for our fifth and final DIY, I'm going to take one of these candle holders from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to add some of these pearl flat back beads that already have sticky on them from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to put them around the top rim of this candle holder, and then I'll do the bottom as well and a section in the middle. And then I'm going to take this out to my garage, and I'm going to spray paint it with that Rust-Oleum spray paint. And I'll leave the color in the description box down below. Next, I'm going to take one of these little eggs. This one came on like a, I don't know, it was like a door hanger. It had like 5 little eggs on it. They were all glittered. So I'm just gluing the glitter side down to a piece of craft paper, and then I'm going to paint the back side of this with the ballet slipper from Waverly. Next, I'm going to get in my button stash, and I'm just going to start placing some buttons onto my little egg. I was just trying to get an idea here as to where I wanted my bigger buttons to be. So then I glue down the bottom buttons first, and then I start adding in some smaller buttons to kind of layer on top and cover up some of the areas that you see a lot of paint showing through. And my little stick I'm using is just a little craft helper that I have, and I put a piece of clay on the bottom of it so that I could pick up the buttons. It worked. So yeah, that was my cheap version of a like a jewel picker. So anyhow, then I'm going to cut the craft paper away, you know, like right along the edge of my little egg there. And if you have any little stray hairs, so to speak, from your glue gun, just take a hairdryer or a hot, oh my gosh, I can't think. You're probably all like, it is, what is that? My, yeah, my hot air gun, what the heck? Anyhow, just run that over the top of your egg, and it'll help get rid of all the little glue strands. Oh my gosh. So then I wanted to create this little backer. I'm just using some of these Jenga blocks, and I'm just gonna glue 2 of them behind my egg here so that it will be freestanding. And I do add a 3rd Jenga block to the top there to just add some more security to it. And this little egg is done. Here it is on my little stand, and I think it turned out super cute. I love this color, and I just adore how this little egg turned out. So anyhow, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel, and until I see you in the next video, I hope you have a happy, healthy, and wonderfully blessed day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!